guys, and welcome to our Japanese garden escape. I'm Teresa, and today I will continue planting this front yard zen area we have here. We've already done one video where I explained more about how we landscape this area, and you saw a few plants. I think I planted those two Portuguese laurel at the very back. We'll see that later. And meanwhile, we went to the garden center and we found a few more plants that fit in this area, and this is what I'm showing you today. So maybe I will run you through first what we have here at the moment. On the first video, we still had one red pine here next to the rock, but unfortunately it didn't survive the transplanting, which we did last year. So we had to take it out, so we'll find something new. But we found a few plants, one we already placed, and here we have all the other ones we're going to be planting. So I will just first run you through the plants we're using. Let's start with this one here. This is a Portuguese laurel. This is an evergreen plant. It is very susceptible to pruning, and it grows really to a bush if you let it grow that big. So we already have those in the very end corner, and we were just missing one more, so we found it. That's great. Then those you already know from the very first planting video. These are Japanese hollies. They are also evergreen. And we usually these days plant them instead of boxwood because they are not, they do not get this boxwood moth. So those are these guys. Then back here we did actually get two boxwoods. So we just have to keep checking them during the summer before this caterpillar comes. We bought them because they have a bigger size, and the Japanese hollies were not available in a bigger size. So we're going to be planting those two. And then here we have, this one is a Japanese yew. Japanese yews, or yews in general, are found quite a lot in Japanese gardens. And it's not that often that you find bigger ones here. Actually, we do have, I think, 3 very little ones in the garden next to the big bamboo. And we found this one here, and we found that one over there. So this one we already placed because it's very heavy. This one is an English yew. So the difference is really it has smaller needles compared to that one. But they are really nice. They can be pruned and evergreen as well. So we're really happy about this. Okay, guys, before we get planting, I will place all the plants and talk a little bit about what the thought behind that is when we're doing that for Japanese gardens. This one, however, I wanted to show you first. So this is the other red pine we transplanted last year. And we still left it in. It looks a bit dry, but we actually broke a little branch just before, and it still looks green inside. So maybe it will come back, or maybe it still lives. I'm not quite sure at this moment in time. I hope it didn't die from transplanting. We'll see a little bit later in the year. And I just noticed in the last video I was talking about that this is a kind of a fresh mound, so fresh soil. So there's no moss growing on there yet, but that's the goal. And look at this. If you look down here, you can see that a green shimmer kind of starts on the surface here. And this is how moss is starting to grow. So over time it just comes naturally. And we have a few spots here already where this is starting to grow, which is really, really amazing. Okay, guys, so now let's place the plants. So in general, planting in Japanese gardens is supposed to look random and natural, as opposed to having flower beds and grass areas. So what we're doing, I will start with the Japanese yew, and I think I can lift it. Yes, just okay. And we will place that one just here on this little mound, right next to the red pine here. And what I always do, I place the plants first, and then I'll have a look from each side where I can see the scene from. So here, if I look from here, in case I'm walking back, that looks very good. And then I'm also going to the other side and look from that side here, and that also looks very good. That's perfect. Maybe we want to turn it a little bit because you see it's a bit higher at the back here. This will be pruned later on, but maybe like so. I think that's quite good. Okay, so next I'm picking one of these two boxwoods, and I will choose this one here because this one here is not as evenly shaped as this one, and it will grow right next to this big rock here. I thought this one would look nice because once it's planted, it will be way lower, so it will not interfere with that branch of that tree here. And I'm placing it so that this side that is a little bit smaller than this side, this is growing towards the rock. So I think if we put that here, that looks quite nice. What I want to do here, over time, I want this to grow into like a bigger shape, so in combination with those Japanese hollies. And I also want this to grow a little bit into the rock. So maybe in a few years' time, when this one is larger, we will be able to prune it, but we will always cut out the rock shape, so it looks like growing into the rock. That's the idea here. Then I'm compensating this big one here with one small one. And I think if I place one here, that looks quite nice. Like so. I do like this combination of a bigger one and a smaller one. And if you think once they're bigger, they will kind of grow together into one shape. So I'm happy with this. And then I'll grab the other two Japanese hollies. And I'm going to place them on this end of the rock. I think one maybe here. So I'm also making sure that they don't look like placed in one exact line. And this one maybe can go a little bit closer to the rock, like so. And that one I'm gonna be placing here, I think. I think that looks quite nice. So what is left is our Portuguese laurel, and this one goes all the way to the back. So come with me, guys. We got already 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and here you see I have a gap here which I want to fill. We want them to grow larger so you can't see that much of the fence. So this one I will just place, so not to make a line, maybe back here, and we will actually not prune those at all, we will just let them grow. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, and then we have one more plant, which is the second boxwood. So this one has a nice round shape, and this one I thought will look quite nice next to this big rock right here. Like so. I think that gives a nice picture because we got this little pine here. Then here's the Portuguese laurel, and this one out of the pot will be lower. So I thought this would look quite nice. And again here, it's supposed to look like it grows into the rock. So that's the plan. I hope you like it, guys. I do. So let's get planting. All the holes are dug, except for this one here. We just decided to actually put this one somewhere else because we put this gravel here first, and under this gravel we have some underlay, and then we have another layer of about a foot deep of gravel. That's for drainage purposes, and this is why I cannot go any deeper than to about here. And this hole, as you can probably see, would be way too shallow for this boxwood. We just we're thinking moving it back to here, like so, but that doesn't look right, really. So we're gonna get another little Japanese holly. Hopefully they'll get some more in the plant center, and we'll move this to another position. So that means we're done with digging the holes. We can get started planting. Okay, we're starting with this Portuguese laurel. What I normally do, you saw me doing this in other videos before I plant, is I put these little ones, once they're out of the pot, in a bucket of water. Today I will not do that because we had so much rain yesterday that they are absolutely soaked. So there's no point doing that. So they have plenty of water. We will just water them later on with the hose. So let's put this one in. That's a little bit too deep. And I'll refill some soil. We can use this one here, the one I dug out. So normally, depending on where we plant, we put the soil away that we dig out. But here, because this is all still soil, I just use that to fill in some areas at the back. You saw me doing that when digging the other holes as well. And this soil is actually not our own. We got this delivered, but this is very good nutrient-rich soil. So this is fine for the plants. The planting soil I'm using is just organic planting soil, just a normal one. It's without peat, because I do not like peat because it gets very dry. And this is what I'm using to plant that. I'm again planting without gloves today. That's because I've already done some weeding in the garden and I already have dirty hands and fingernails, so never mind. But I did get new gloves today actually in the morning, so which is great. But now I'm already going without, so we'll keep doing that. We do have an acidic soil where we live, which is really good. The pH, I measured it once with some soil, with my soil sample kit kind of thing. And it turned out to be between 4 and 5, which is for the plants we grow, like Japanese maples, azaleas, also the Japanese holly. This is really good. So this is why I normally just use normal planting soil, except for azaleas and rhododendron. So for those, I do use some specific rhododendron soil. So almost done with this one. And then I will also here cover this planting soil with this soil that is already here. So it looks like as if it had always been here in the ground. And I push it down. That's also to encourage moss to grow, because if the soil is too loose, it will not grow or have hard times growing. So here we go. Good, that one is in. Let's continue with the other ones. Okay, so here I'm starting along the rock with this one here, with the Japanese holly. Also here we have the kind of issue that the hole is probably not going to be deep enough because of that gravel layer here. So what I will do, I will pull it out. Also this one is really, really moist, so we do not need to put it in a bucket. Let's just see how that looks. Okay, you can see this is sticking out way too much. A little bit I consider alright, but this is too much. So what I will do here, and normally I don't do that, but here it only works that way, I will chop off a little bit of the roots with my shovel here. Hopefully that works. Okay. Not as well as I thought. Because usually these pot plants, they're rooted quite well anyway. See if I can break that off. I think this one has quite thick roots down here actually. I may need to get some... Oh, you see that here? It's a very thick root. I didn't expect that. I may have to get either scissors or cutters, or I could get Adam to do it. Let's do that. So look at this, guys. It's in magically off camera. I couldn't hold the camera, sorry, because I have dirty hands. So we did that bit quickly off camera. But anyway, it's in. I pushed some of the top roots down because often these plants get repotted in early spring and then they have a lot of excess soil anyway at the top. So that is looking good. Just plant that quickly and then put some other soil on top again. This is where I left that pile here. And we're also going to build up that mound here a little bit again at the front. Good, and then with the boxwood right next to me here, which goes in here, we will probably have to do the same because you see here I'm already hitting ground here. I can't go any deeper than that. That's the underlay, you can see, and underneath that we have the other gravel layer, and I cannot possibly dig that out. So we'll see how we go with this one. I assume that this one has anyway a lot of excess soil at the bottom, so we'll see. Alright guys, we're done. I think this is starting to look quite good. I really like the picture. Now I'm gonna start watering the plants in a little bit. That's all for today. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give us a like if you did. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Bye!